And now, hailing from southern Alberta, Canada, weighing in at more than he cares to admit, your pilot, your captain, Mr. Elron Steele.
Well, hello, Mothershippers. Welcome aboard a Saturday edition of MotherShip Poker. We have, of course, the Stratosphere coming up in about half an hour, and the main event coming up about half an hour after that. So it is a big day, as usual, here on MotherShip Poker. Stratter Day, as we like to call it here. So welcome aboard. Hey, I'm curious if you're hearing music coming through on your stream. I'm going to leave it as it is now. I was messing around with sound settings earlier, and I may have come up with a way to get the song queue out there, and then again, maybe not. Let's see. Yeah, so I think I've found a way to get the song queue out to you guys into my ears at the same time, and possibly improve the sound quality. On the other hand, I may have just rendered it so you guys can't hear the sound at all, which, you know, can't hear the music at all, which wouldn't be ideal. So let me know what's going on if there's anybody out there in chat listening right now. Tell me if you can hear music coming out over the stream. We do have poker going. I am in the Battle Royale for 50 cents today after a qualifier win, although more accurately, I suppose, I am in the Battle Royale for a $1.50. I played a $1.50 worth of qualifiers this morning for 15 euros worth of tickets. A 10 euro scuffle and a 5 euro Battle Royale. I bricked the 10 euro scuffle, but I banked the 5 euro Battle Royale. So let's add them together and say that we're playing this Battle Royale for $1.50 today, which is, you know, still a pretty good deal, I think. So I'm happy to go with that. So yeah, how you doing? Hope you're having a good Saturday so far. It's been a pretty good week for me, as you know. It was my birthday earlier this week on Thursday. And I bought myself a bit of a birthday present. Not a huge one, but I bought myself a year-long subscription to iRacing. And I may already be addicted to iRacing. There's so the live races are way bigger in iRacing. I'll be curious to see actually how it pans out on Monday, but I'm trying to prep for a race starting on Monday. That'll be my first live race in iRacing, which is basically a global thing that's probably going to have several hundred competitors over a bunch of different flights for the opening day. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fun. I am currently gonna lose based on my practice performance, but it's gonna be fun nonetheless. We'll see how it goes. I got a couple of days to prep still, and I am improving, so we'll see. We'll see. I got some pretty good lap times in. I just can't put a bunch of them together in a row is the problem. I can drive the car around the track reasonably fast. I just can't do it consistently, which is, you know, part of a good racing. Anyways, we've got poker going on, so let's stop talking about virtual racing and start talking about virtual poker instead. We've got Battle Royale happening here, as I said, playing it on some ticket values, so we're in cheap. Basically, one booty is going to get us into the profit zone. For sure, well, for the basic 50-cent qualifier that we played for this, one bounty does it. One bounty is very close to the $1.50 we paid in qualifiers today as well. So we'll see what happens. I haven't got a bounty yet, but we'll see what happens. We've also got the Turbo Classic going on here as well, which I jumped into today. That's all I'm going to reg for now because we've got the we got the Stratosphere popping up shortly, and then we've got the main event, of course, popping up after that. So that will fill my 4 tables, assuming I bust nothing else. If I start busting things, then we will start looking for other games to register. So yeah, let me know if you guys are hearing music or not. There should be music coming out of the stream, but as I said, I played around a bit with sounds this morning, and it may or may not have actually occurred. Well, if any of you were watching the stream, maybe it was Wednesday, maybe it was Monday, I'm not sure which one. There was a really weird occurrence where I started to hear voices in my headset that I couldn't figure out where they're. I think I might have figured out where they're coming from. Happened again today before the stream, something similar. And I started closing down applications like one after another to see where it was coming from. And I finally found one that when I closed it down, it shut the sound off. So I think I know where it's coming from. Next question is to go back into that app and figure out why it's coming from there, because there should be no sound ever coming from that app from the way I typically have the settings set there. So yeah, we'll have to check that out. But that comes up after the stream. I didn't really have enough time pre-stream to deal with that. But the app is not running now when I'm streaming this time today. So that means that in theory, assuming that I'm correct, which I'm pretty sure I am. And I mean, now that I've worked out which app it is, it actually makes there's some logical sense if my settings got messed up somehow. It actually makes perfect sense that I might hear radio-like sounds coming out of my headset that are in foreign languages. I can totally buy it. So it was Second Life, which usually runs in the background. I run some rental properties and some land there and shit, so I'm usually sitting idling on the land in the background all the time, checking in every once in a while, a couple of times a day to see what's going on. And in theory, none of the sound options should be set to broadcast anything to anywhere in my system. It should all be muted. But it's entirely possible that a recent update or something reset the settings or whatever, and it started to come up. It's also possible that somebody's hacked something to do with my sound feed on land parcel that I usually sit on in Second Life. So that's the other possibility that I may need to look into. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. I think it's solved so that we're not going to have an issue where I'm trying to figure out where we're getting weird music broadcast onto the or weird because I don't think you guys heard it. I think I shut the stream down before it actually broadcast, but it was actually coming out. It was actually coming out through the what looked like to be directly through the stream to the world. So that was very problematic because I had no idea what the fuck they were saying and where it was coming from and what they were doing. Meow meow cat, how you doing? There is music coming out of the stream. That is good to know. Then I am fairly happy. We're gonna ban that. We're gonna ban that cheap viewers. That cheap viewers thing. Yeah. No, indeed, there was actually internet voices coming out of my computer system into my headset. It wasn't actually voices in my head. Dip Tez. Although welcome aboard, and that is not an entirely impossible suggestion. I must say. So I'm not criticizing you for suggesting it. Just not the case this time around. Ray, Dippy, Kat, welcome aboard to all three of you. Good to have you here. Yeah, I messed around a bit with the sound settings before the stream today, so I'm not sure. It might have, I think, maybe improved the quality of the sound, but I also don't know that it made any difference, frankly. Damn it! The cheap viewers got onto my stream. I was too slow. I'd be an idiot. I wonder if it comes off when I know it won't come off the stream. It's already burned into the stream. Too slow. Too slow, no go. Neuters. We are 17 minutes away from our flight to the Stratosphere today. So good luck, everybody, in that one. I failed to secure myself a ticket this week, so I will be paying the cold hard cash to get myself in the game, which is, unfortunate as always, but it is what it is. Just what we have to do sometimes. Go ahead and refresh Twitch there, Diptaz. Might solve your problems. Moisty, welcome aboard. Well, I hope you don't see everything. I hope you only see what you're supposed to see, Diptaz, because if you see everything, you might get booted off Twitch if somebody can see everything. Yeah, not today. Not today. Right now, anyways. Well, I have the Jilly's arse, and I like to play my Jilly's arse. I like to play with my Jilly's arse. I mean, it's not the worst flop for my Jilly's arse, but not the best one either. I do think it is a c-bet flop, though. It's probably a c-bet fold flop, though, when you get shoved on. Let me think for a second, though. A backdoor diamonds going for me. Just some backdoor straight things going for me. 8-10, but they're all backdoor shit, so I'll give it to you this time. I give it to you this time, buddy. We see about next time. We see about next time. Totally highbrow music. This is the stream for this is the stream for the cultured dippers. That's one of the less graphic songs that we have on our playlist as well, given some of the other shit that we have in here. I mean, might be a few more quote-unquote obscene words in the "Suck My Titties" tune, but "Do Not Disturb" from Hailstorm. That's some obscene shit going on there, guys. I mean, it's good. I like it. That's why it's on the fucking playlist. But no, that's some shit going on there. That's some highbrow shit going on there. Want to fuck you like an animal? Pretty sure that one's on our playlist somewhere. Do it like they do it on the Discovery Channel. Yeah, I know we totally go for the highbrow stuff here in Dip Test. You should know that by now. We are 10 minutes from reaching the stratosphere, everybody. So buckle up. We're on our ascent to the stratosphere. Get yourself assorted. Please return to your seats in preparation for reaching the stratosphere. Kevin Thalum, how you doing, buddy? Welcome aboard. We'll probably avoid putting this one on the permanent playlist. It's a jaunty tune, I gotta say. Definitely dance to it. Nice little pot there for me in the Turbo Classic. Keeps me alive anyways. Huh. Just lost my connection to Nightbot for whatever reason. Looks like it's still playing as the song cue for you guys, but... Oh, wow. I just got crushed with kings on the Battle Royale. I was off screen. Wasn't even watching. I got it in with kings. Oh, Ace King gets there on the river against us. Ah, lovely. Lovely. It's going to be one of those days. All right, well, that's $1.50 down the drain so far. At least it wasn't $5 down the drain, though. Ah, nice. You can get your penguin back. I got my music back, I think. Somewhat in sync with you guys once again, I believe. I lost it for a few minutes. We are moments. Oh, I was going to say we're moments from the Stratosphere. It hasn't popped up on my screen yet. There's a reason for that. You haven't fucking regged in it, Ellie. The hell is your problem today? There we go. We are in. It is on my screen. I am waiting. I should probably also at the same time be getting into the MotherShip Poker main event. Password for that will be released shortly if you need it at this point, which seems increasingly unlikely. We have stratospheric action, everybody. Good luck to you. Good luck to me. Good luck to everybody in the game today. 23 of us in there so far. Let's see if we can't make this a 350 euro plus day. We have Zira, who's also on my Turbo Classic table. On our Stratosphere table here, we have the Cat. Welcome aboard, Cat. Super Hansi, Ice Hand, Rishka 19. Lots of familiar faces. Birdie. Birdie. I wonder if that's MVE. It's not one of his normal aliases, but it just kind of sounds like it might be an MVE kind of alias. I don't know why. You did have one for a while that was early bird, so maybe that's what I'm thinking. Well, I have bottom pair here. No draws. But I'm getting pretty juicy pot odds at this point. I am getting pretty juicy pot odds at this point to see if I hit my king or my six. I don't know if I've got enough pot odds. Looking at like 3 into 15, so we're getting like 5 to 1 roughly. I'm not 20% to hit a king or a six though, so. I mean, I'm pretty sure I wasn't 20% to hit a king or a six, but it is what it is. Worst six I could hit, Frank. Well, yeah, no, worst six I could hit, frankly, but like I can never respond to action there particularly well because I only have trips when there's a flush on the board, but yeah, with what have I got? Five outs there, two kings. No, three kings and two sixes. And the clubs in both cases are dirty a little bit for me potentially. So I think at most I've got 10% there to hit my cards, and it's probably a little less than that given that the clubs are out there sometimes and they come in as they did. So yeah, it probably wasn't. It's juicy pot odds, but I probably wasn't good enough. That's one of the things I haven't been like when I see pot odds like 5 to 1. I'm like, oh well, I must be good to call with any two, but you're not really necessarily, right? So especially not on the turn. Like if I had two cards to come, that comes pretty close to 20%. So I think getting 5 to 1 pot odds with two cards to come, I probably am calling in that spot, but not with one card to come, right? Oh, you think? I don't know. I suppose €5 games might be where bots would start, but I don't really see them playing. Like if you've got a good bot, like I can sort of see the logic of playing small stakes so that playing big volume on small stakes so that you don't draw attention. But that's actually going to draw more attention, I think, than not. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't feel like Unibet's going to be particularly bought heavy at these levels for a variety of reasons. I mean, there's more money to be made elsewhere. Unibet's pretty good with their security. We got our money in with the Rockets here in the Turbo Classic, so we got our fingers crossed that the best hand can win. It totally is the best hand at this point. We'll see if it stays the best hand. Well, it's not a great flop for me. I'm a lot happier with the run out, but still, didn't need to see them hit their 5 there. That was unnecessary poker. It was unnecessary. Unnecessary sweat. I'm calling it. I'm the ref, and I'm calling an unnecessary sweat penalty there. I don't know. I could be naive about the bot situation, but yeah, but Byro's definitely one that plays regular on here, has for ages. I would, but Byro's been here a lot longer than the other two, if my memory is serving correctly. So I would definitely question them being a bot. Because I can remember ages ago making a comment about their username sounding like Biro, which is what's used for pen in West Africa. Or I pronounce it that way. Whether it's actually supposed to be pronounced that way or not, who knows? But and that would have been that was ages ago, according to my brain memory. So. So 7 places paid in this Turbo Classic, 1154 for the min cash. So it's a pretty decent little min cash we got going on there. 76.92 up top, so not a bad win either. Both of them would be quite. Either of them would be quite nice, I should say. Can't get both. Although, I mean, I don't know. The last tournament I was at, they did, or no, 2 tournaments ago. One guy did cash the same event twice, and it wasn't a day 1 pay event. Cash the same event twice on day 2. I've never fucking seen that before, but it happened. I mean, there was a reason. There's a logical reason for it to happen, I suppose, but it was just a weird way to handle it, I thought. Chaparella, how you doing, buddy? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, it's an old brand name for a pen, right? That was common in the UK and colonies. Like I don't remember it ever being common here. There've always been Bic pens here for the sort of standard disposable pen. And as far as I know, we've never had a brand name Biro. Um, so it kind of surprised me that I didn't know what they were talking about when I first heard the word. Someone had to explain it to me. Um, but yeah, at least that's vaguely the explanation I remember hearing in Africa. But yeah, I had Bic pens, I had Schaefer pens. But I don't think I've ever had or seen a Biro pen before. So I'm 10 of 24 in the Turbo Classic, but that's not quite a caching stack. I need to be top 7 to make it into the cache, which is, pretty close to where I am, but we're down 22 now, so it is dropping relatively quickly. I think that's going to change. This one usually slows down as we approach the bubble. Speaking of, we actually have a bit of a hand going on here, so I'm going to switch over there and let you see what's going on. We have a flopped top pair second kicker, and I'm looking for value here, so I think we're just going to overpot shove and see what happens. I mean, I'm okay with that. It's not terrible. I think the overpot shove can make it look bluffy. Um, can make it look like I'm a little bit scared of, I just want to take down the hand kind of thing. So I think I can get called a little lighter sometimes there, but might have been better to go smaller. I don't know. Yeah, Bic is a brand. Bic is the sort of common disposable pen brand over here. Same people that make the Bic lighters. Um, Bic lighters, same company. Their Bic pens were ubiquitous in my youth here. I don't think we ever really called them Bics. They were always pens. I don't think that was a brand name that ever really grabbed here, but like if I had a disposable pen, it was like almost always a Bic, right? So yeah, I thought Biro was a brand as well. UK old UK brand. Do they still make? Are they still in business? Wow, King 9 just gets there. Just frickin' gets there. Because why not? Against the Ace King. Yeah, Kleenex, Kodak, Pampers, where a user or like a brand name becomes almost ubiquitous or ubiquitous with the product. Like in Canada, any facial tissue, doesn't matter what brand it comes from, is a Kleenex in a lot of places. And it must be super frustrating. We have a bunch of like actually I would hazard a guess that Scotty's is probably the most if not the biggest Canadian seller, definitely one of the biggest Canadian sellers. Um, but I'll bet you 75% of the Canadians that buy Scotty's still call them Kleenex, colloquially when they're talking about go grab me a Kleenex or whatever, grab me the box of Kleenexes. Um, yeah, so it's weird. On the other hand, we never adopted the Hoover for vacuuming. It's always been a vacuum. There's never been a brand name associated with the vacuum cleaner. 100% Bic lighters are for if you're going to use disposable lighters. Bic is the nuts by far, and they're damn good pens as well. Frankly, there's nothing wrong with them whatsoever. They're cheap, reliable, last for a long time, durable as hell. Yeah, no, they're great. They make good solid products. Bic. Everything that I've used of theirs is like a good. Nothing spectacular, like nothing fancy, nothing. Just does what it says on the tin and does it really, really, really efficiently and well. And there's nothing else. And while there's no flourish and there's no like no luxury and no flourish and no nothing that isn't required for the function of a lighter, they've coupled that with iconic design that is gorgeous, right? That's the other side of what Bic does. The pens are the same way. It's like it's they're I mean it sounds, and maybe they copied it off somebody else. I'm not sure. They've been doing it for ages. But yeah, it's a very iconic look here for a Bic pen that has been copied by a bunch of other manufacturers since, and it's kind of become the default look for a standard pen. But it started at least here with Bic. And it's the same with the sort of lighters. It's like this. They managed to like. There's nothing extra. Like it's not like they're putting extra on. It's not like it's a it's not like it's a Rolls Royce car or something where they're adding a whole bunch of extra shit to make it more luxurious. No, they're just fucking making a lighter, but they're doing it with a great design team behind it to put that purely functional package into something attractive. Anyways, I'll stop rambling about it, but I think they do a great job with what they do. I'm a big fan of efficiency and um, doing what it says on the tin, doing it well, and doing nothing more or less than what it says on the tin, um, and putting that in an attractive package. Like, I'm a massive fan of that. I can't imagine Bic sells anywhere near as many pens as they did 30 years ago when I was buying them on the regular. Yeah, I can't imagine. I can't imagine they sell as many these days, just because not as many people are writing with actual physical pens these days. I mean, hell, I don't anymore. I don't think I don't like I used to collect pens from hotel rooms where I stayed. But I don't even really do that anymore because I never use an actual, or I rarely use an actual pen anymore. So I'm like, why even bother? Even when I'm reporting, I don't use pen and paper anymore. I use, oh, lovely, we got tens and kings here. Can we find a 10? Can we find a 10? We cannot find a 10. All right, it is done in the Toibo Classic. Well, not quite done, but will be shortly probably. 8 deuce. Can we YOLO it? Yeah, I mean, I always use my electronic tablet notepad thingy. So there's a stylus attached that comes with that, but it's not a pen. It's pen shaped. It's maybe the modern version of a pen, but it's not a pen. I can't use it to write on paper. To be fair, I don't need to use that stylus. I can actually use, like, if I take the if I put the actual pen part inside, or I put the lovely. We're just busting left, right, and center today. Um, or if like I take a Bic and use it with the cap on, um, I can actually use that notepad just as well with any. I can use my finger. I can write on my finger with it. That's not particularly like it's not fine enough, detailed enough to produce a good product. Um, but yeah, like a pen tip, as long as So yeah, it will actually work with any stylus of any kind, whether it's an actual pen or the stylus that comes with it. All right, it is break time, so I'm gonna hit the break, and we'll be back in a few minutes, everybody. We are back. We have main event popping up soon. Indeed, it was only about one particular subject that I was going to shut up about. If anyone still needs it, password is space travel for the main event. About to pop up on the screens. Meanwhile, we're up to 36 total players in the Stratosphere with one rebuy, so we're about 20 off the guarantee now with 40 minutes to go in entries. So it's looking good to break the guarantee today. Yeah, sometimes the flips can be a little brutal. I've stopped playing them completely. They weren't really doing me any good. So in the long run. Well, that's a nice turn and river card for me. Main event time. It's on the screen. 7 players in the game so far. So kind of a sparse turnout today, but get yourself in if you're still waiting. There's about 35 minutes of reg. They both close sometime around 35 minutes after the hour this time. 38 minutes in reg on the Stratosphere, and I think the main event closes like 5 minutes after the Stratosphere does. Yeah, so 40 minutes for the main event and 37 for the Stratosphere. So there's like 3 extra minutes of reg in the main event. And in terms of the actual time that they close down. But by 12:45 today, Mountain Time, my time, i.e. 45 minutes after the hour, on both games will be shuttered for entries. So get yourself in before then. Remember, the Stratosphere is a couple of minutes before that, so get yourself in that one by 40 minutes after the hour. We're up to 10 in the main event now, though, so growing been really enjoying the. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream that I bought myself a 1-year subscription to iRacing for my birthday, and been really enjoying playing the game. I'm not sure I can stream it though, because the only way I've been able to get the game to show up on my OBS is by streaming my desktop, and yeah, I don't do that. I do not do that for security reasons. That is that's why that's the reason why other streamers get screwed for banking information, stream keys, etc. like that, because they're streaming their desktop and something accidentally pops up on that desktop, and Bob's your uncle. It's your shit's out there. So yeah, I'm not. I do not stream desktop. Period. So if I can't find another option to get the game on the screen, I will not be streaming iRacing, which is a shame because it would be nice to stream. I'm sure there must be a way to do it other than through the desktop, but maybe not. We'll see. Up to 38 total players now in the Stratosphere. Still just the one rebuy, so we're at 39 total now. iRacing, it's the sort of official online racing league, global racing league game. The game's called iRacing. And yeah, none of the game windows, whether it's on game capture or window capture, they just come up black on my OBS. So yeah, iRacing. We have the Kinkaroonies here in the Stratosphere, and given the way the action's gone, I think that a chunky 3-bet is the way to go. Pot that fucker. Pot that fucker is what I say. Happy enough with that outcome. Yeah, maybe. I haven't spent a ton of time looking into it yet. I can't imagine it's not possible. There are dozens of people that stream. Well, dozens is an understatement. There's oodles of people that stream iRacing out there. So I have to think it's possible in ways other than just streaming my desktop. So yeah, it's just gonna take a little bit of research. I think I'll get it sorted. It's possible that I've already sorted the problem. I did some settings changes in the way game outputs that were for other reasons, but I also have a reason to suspect that they may also have impacted whether or not it shows up on OBS, but we'll see. I haven't tried since I made that change. I just basically I tried it once yesterday and then didn't bother to go back and play around with it. There's been a few other situations where it hasn't the games haven't come through directly through the game capture, and I've had to go through various either game settings or OBS settings to get it sorted. I just need to do some research into what that process might be with iRacing. Because yeah, actually, I got a buddy. Well, I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about him, Lane, in Lethbridge, guy that played the poker home games. Used to drive down there for poker home games with, and used to work with him at London Road, all that jazz. Yeah, that guy. Um, he's also doing a bunch of racing in iRacing as well. And we're both actually working on that track that I was mentioning that I'm trying to get good on for this big race on Monday. So we might be organizing a little private session later on to pit our skills against each other. We'll see. Indeed, pot that fucker. When in doubt, pot that fucker. Well, no, actually, when in doubt, fold. That's the truth. When not in doubt, when not at all in doubt, pot that fucker. When there is not the least bit of doubt, that, my friends, is when you pot that fucker. got a couple fours in the small blind. I don't really want to play this out of position on a flop. So let's see what happens when we do this. I've at least got betting. It's got the betting lead in this case. So let's c-bet this, because we can be the one with the queen and the jack, or the jack. Of course, so could somebody else, but didn't really want to go full half pot there. Pretty sure I turned my fours into a bluff there, but that's the way c-betting works sometimes. That's why you take the betting lead when you're out of position. Indeed, dozens, dozens. Dozens is like a ridiculous understatement. There's probably, I would guess, between Twitch and YouTube, there's got to be thousands of people streaming. Just iRacing, never mind ones that are streaming laps in Forza or course. I don't see a ton of Forza being streamed. I'm the only one that I've seen streaming Forza. I see a lot of people streaming Assetto Corsa and the F1 games. I see those a fair bit, and I see iRacing. I will say I'm not totally thrilled with the business model of iRacing. It turns out buying a one-year subscription isn't the last of the money that they want me to give them. I don't need to give them any more money. They've given me a game I can play and enjoy, at least for probably the one-year subscription that I have now, without spending any more money on it. But it's a very limited selection of cars that you get off the bat, and it's a very limited selection of tracks that you get off the bat, which means there's a significant parts of the game that are, just pay $20 for this track, or just pay, $25 for this track and car combo so you can play this series, or so you can drive this series or whatever. So yeah, I'm not real thrilled with that part of the business model, I have to say. But like I say, you can still play the game, and there's nothing like, nobody's spending money to get better to race against me in the basic leagues that I'm racing in. Like, you can't buy a better car to go race in this Formula V series that I'm racing in, for example. So, it's not necessarily something that's that's a huge deal, but yeah, I'm not thrilled with the business model. Let's put it that way. Seems like they're trying to extract an awful lot of money out of their, which I mean, I suppose is capitalism, right? But I try to avoid that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, there seems to be plenty of content, at least to start with, to keep me interested at the basic level that I've paid, which roughly was $100 for the year. Like I think I would with tax it came out to like 115 or something like that Canadian, but it was pretty reasonable. Went for the year subscription because they're cheaper overall than that. Um, but I also think I got an introductory offer, which means I think it's going to go up by like 10% or something when I renew next year, if I renew next year. So. Well, I'm not thrilled to see that ace out there, but I think we're going to see bet it anyways because, we could be playing ace king, not king king here. So could somebody else, though. That's the problem. Or ace queen, or ace jack, or ace six, or ace cocktail napkin. Who cares? As long as if they've got an ace, they've got an ace, and we're going to fold because they got an ace, right? I guess that raise could be hearts as well, but I have to think the call and or the raise is going to always be one of those is always going to be an ace, right? Always going to be an ace there. Like it totally could be hearts. Yeah, there's always an ace out there, right? Though my kings are always down on that flop. I think I have to see bet it anyways because there's not always the ace out there, but it's and I am the one that in theory has the ace when I'm opening, but yeah, I don't think it's necessarily. Look, I think when I get a call and raise, I'm shutting it down with kings, right? Uh-huh. I'll have to. I don't know. I've never been too much into like it's weird. I always thought growing up, like I played a lot of D&D and other sort of role playing games offline growing up, and I always thought like, wow, I'd be really into a really good computer game this way. And either I've just never found the computer game that appeals to me, or I'm just not into the. I'm more into the much more open sort of imagination based thing of live versus online. Because every time I've tried to get into any sort of MMORPG, MMORPG, I just can't find the enthusiasm for it. So I think the closest I've come to that would be games like Elite or Forza iRacing, where yeah, it's like massively online and it's massively multiplayer, um, and it's sort of you're sort of playing a role in both those, but they're not what people normally think of when you talk about online role playing games, right? Um, so so yeah, I mean they're both more simulations than role playing games, but yeah, it's weird. I would have like you would looking at my childhood and me at the time in my childhood, I always thought, well, yeah, it would be very cool, but turns out I don't want it after all, for whatever reason. I can't quite work out what the reasons are, but it's like I've tried to play World of Warcraft a bunch of times, and I was just like, yeah, sorry, I don't know. Um, didn't get the Evercrack thing either. I tried Evercrack a couple of times, and crack didn't affect me for whatever reason. Um, Don't recommend you try in the real world with real crack, but yeah, no, it didn't. On the other hand, I've been playing Second Life for 20 years almost at this point. I've been, so I fucking obsessed over Elite Dangerous for like 4 years. Um, so yeah, it's not like I don't get into intense, massive multiplayer online experiences. They're just a little different than the role playing games that I kind of thought I'd be into. Using real names and iRacing, that was a bit. I when I signed up, I was like, okay, well, I'll be able to choose a driver alias later on down the road, I guess. Nope, nope. You're using your legal name. I was asking my buddy about that, and he's like, nope, everybody uses the real name in iRacing. I'm like, okay, well, I guess if it's an even playing field, I'm not so freaked about it, but um, I have not done a thing online yet. I've been entirely in the AI simulator mode to train myself in the game before I go and embarrass myself for the first time against other humans. Which looks like it's going to be, looks like it's probably going to be Monday when I embarrass myself against other humans. And at this point, it definitely looks like I'm going to be embarrassing myself against other humans. But live and learn. Never gonna improve if I don't try. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Even with I mean, I guess the closest thing to like an RPG online that I've it's got to be Elite because you are playing a character um, that explores the world that they're resident in, collects resources to improve their lot in the world and improve their abilities to do more things in the world, um, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you're basically, I mean, it's obviously quite different than a sword and sorcery kind of thing, but and it's very different from other sorts of more RPG style space games like No Man's Sky. I've never played it, but from what I've read about No Man's Sky, it's a much more RPG style game, and many of those are sort of RPG style games. So yeah, I don't know. I think probably Elite's the closest thing I've ever done to like full on let's do role playing kind of thing. Um, well, we won't go into the kinds of role playing I have been involved in, but for the most part, that hasn't been online. For the most part, that hasn't been online. Well, yeah, that's what I love about Elite was that you're basically plopped down into this world and left to your own devices to figure out how to improve your lot in the world, kind of thing, right? Um, and I mean, there's some obvious avenues that you can take right off the bat that are that kind of present themselves um, as a sort of obvious choice kind of thing. And there's like two or three sort of obvious. Okay, we're going to go out and do that for a while and make a bunch of money to make a bunch of credits to improve our fleet, or we're going to go out and do that for a while and make a bunch of credits to improve our fleet, or there's a few options that are sort of readily apparent that you can do. But then there's also just doing what you want kind of thing, right? And that's ultimately, at the end of the day, that's what the game is you're entirely left to your own devices to work out what the best strategy to play the game is. And basically, all the game does. This is why I don't really call it a role playing game, because there is literally no role playing from the game mechanic side of it. All the game is really doing is providing you with a world, and then elements within that world to interact with as you choose. Um, and even when they pushed more towards plot-based kind of things, A, it wasn't the least bit mandatory, and B, even that was a case of get involved or not, or be like it was just another event happening in the universe that you could be a part of or not be part of. That might still affect you because it's affecting other things in the universe that you're working in. But yeah, so I do enjoy that sort of game. So I might actually look into this one if that's what it is. I must admit I did enjoy that part of Elite. Just the fact that you sort of work out. To be fair, one of the reasons I'm not playing Elite as much anymore is that you do realize after a few years of playing it that there's a very limited set of things you can do. So it becomes, no matter what you choose, it becomes very repetitive. And you can try to break up that monotony a little bit by, okay, I'm going to do this for a while, then I'm going to do that for a while. But when you do this, that, the other thing, and back to this, that, the other thing again, you do that cycle 5 or 6 times, you're not breaking up the monotony anymore by moving on to the next cycle, to the next part of the cycle, right? You're just continuing the monotony, right? So yeah, at a certain point, there needs to be a very, 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 very vast set of things to possibly do in the world. And the other main issue with Elite was that basically, like, let's say you chose to go exploring. At first, it was very interesting to me because I got to explore the universe or the galaxy, and I got to um, find interesting new planets with new life forms and things like that on them. Um, but again, after a few iterations, you're like, okay, I jump into a system, I scan the system with the exact same functions all the time. I pick out what's interesting. I go look at those interesting things. I scan those things. I maybe land if there's life forms, and I go and I scan some of the life forms to get that data. Then I take off again and I move on to the next system and rinse and repeat. So, and even the kinds of, as after a certain point, I've seen all the planet types. I've seen pretty much all the life form types, et cetera, et cetera. So it starts becoming exceedingly rare that anything new kind of pops up for you, and that starts to become very monotonous. So that's the main reason I kind of left the game 7,000 light years away from the bubble on a deep exploration trip, um, and haven't been back to it since. And I mean, to be fair, even the racing games that I play have a certain component of that. If you can't get new cars and new tracks, at least new tracks, to drive on, it also does get very monotonous after a while as well. If you're just driving on the same track over and over and over again, it can be very monotonous. Like I remember I mentioned to you guys, even in a single race that was like 35 laps long or something, I fell asleep on like lap 32 or something like that, because I mean it was late, so don't get me wrong, but still it was, yeah, I was like, I could literally fell asleep at 200 kilometers an hour behind the wheel of my virtual car, so it can get monotonous. Right. Well, we are going to be coming up on end of reg very soon in both games. 6 minutes for the strat, 9 minutes for the main event. So if you're not in those games, get in those games now. We are still 3 entries away from breaking the guarantee in the Stratosphere. So we are very close, and it looks reasonably likely that we could get there, but it also looks possible that we could miss it. So it'll be interesting to see which of those two occurs. Currently 51 players and 3 rebuys with 5 minutes to go means there are a total of 54 entries, and we need, I believe, 57 to just barely crack the guarantee. I think I'm going to 3-bet this. Not thrilled about. I mean, I have position anyways, but I don't mind getting the betting lead as well. Oh well, when there's a 3-bet in front of me, maybe I'm not gonna 4-bet 5s. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of it now. My thought was don't really want to play 5s even in position with them having the betting lead on a flop, frankly. So putting in the 3-bet is a good idea there, but I don't think I can 4-bet 5s there. Cool, fair enough. Well, I'll have a look. I'll probably bug you after the stream about the name again because I'm sure it'll be gone from my brain. And I say that I'm sure it'll be gone from my brain for the simple reason that it's already gone from my brain. I could scroll up chat now and do it, but at a certain point today, that's even going to be super difficult. So I think it started with a V, if I'm remembering correctly. But again, that's one of the things I like about Second Life. They just all like it's not a game. They don't give you anything. They provide a world for you to interact with and build your own thing in. And that sort of thing really appeals to me. I mean, you might have noticed that I haven't regged anything other than the Stratosphere in the main event because things have not been going particularly well on the other tables for me on the poker night today. So it's going to be a short one for me as well. As soon as these games are over, we're done with the pokers, I think, for the day. I did play some on Thursday, my birthday. I didn't play yesterday. I spent yesterday working and, well, driving, racing, and doing a few other things, but. So yeah, I'm definitely not putting in the volume on the online poker that I used to, for sure, for whatever reason. I mean, I think I've got other interests going on as well, so there's other things taking up my time. But I definitely don't have the same motivation to get to fire up the client and get into reg games that I used to have. Still had a lot of motivation to fire up the client and OBS and fire up the stream for you guys. So don't get me wrong about that. Don't think that's changed. But as far as the rest of the time, to be fair, this is not the first time this has happened to me. There's like I went from playing. We're over the guarantee just barely, by the way, now in the Stratosphere with Reg close to 80.25. Like when I was first streaming here on Unibat, I would not only be putting on 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 hour streams of poker. There'd be 2 or 3 hours tacked on to both the beginning and the end of those stream sessions of poker that I was playing on a variety of different clients, and generally at least 4 tables going at any given time. And I ramped that almost completely down to playing basically only for like a maximum of 6 or 7 hours on any given day, around 2021-ish, something like that. And then again, now I've ramped it down once again where I'm basically only playing for 5 hours a day at most when I fire it up, and it's not even every day. So, like I'm firing 3 or 4 tournaments maybe when I fire up the client. And then not registering anything else, just finishing those tournaments out and closing it down and being done with poker for the day. So yeah, we ended up with 59 total entries in the Stratosphere, 54 players, and 5 rebuys. So that gave us 280.25, which is just a hair over the guarantee of 275. So nice to see. So we've still only had 4 examples of the stream that have not broken the guarantee since I started keeping track, which is about a year and a half now. Couple of Tenerinos here in the main event, so I think I'm going to put some money in with those. That seems like a good idea. Main event will be closed now as well. That's not a terrible flop for a pair of tens. Got overpair, plus I've got like a fucking boatload of outs, I tell ya. So looking like 5 places paid in the main event today. 380 for the men, 1835 for the win. There are 24 players left, and holy, we haven't lost anybody yet. Literally nobody's. Well, two players have busted and rebought for a total of 26. Wow, got Ace King here, and we got the Asserinos here. Let's yeah, I guess, right? I mean, this could just be a big debacle for me in both cases because we're also going to put in the bet here. Yep, big debacle for me in both cases. Well, no, or at least in this case. I don't know about the other case. Let's go back and find out about the other case. I'm all in with my ace four on the other table, 1.3 bigs. We're definitely shoving any ace at that point, right? So, in fact, let's head over there and watch the rest of it because we're going to be running it down, which is no surprise. We would have been running down against Gisahan for sure because they're never folding to 0.3, I wouldn't think. Shouldn't be. Don't hate it. Two diamonds is not the worst in the world for me. Plus, having the paired board means that it's a little less likely that somebody else has hit it. Diamonds are out of the equation, but I do have a blocker for diamond hands, so there's that. But looks like we're going to be going to battle with an ace high here at the end of the day. Unless we find a Miracle River, which we do not. So we are going to battle with ace high. And we're not going to win it. So we are out of the main event. Good luck, everybody else, in the main event. I am the first player to bust after the rebuys. So, yeah, there's that. I'm first in the main event. First out. Dip Taz. Dip Taz. Getting feisty on me. Penguin's getting feisty on me here. I got a pair, buddy. I got a pair. It's a shitty pair, but I got a pair. Nice hand. Nice hand, my penguin friend. Yeah, you probably wanted my call there. That's why I didn't call with fives. GL Ray. I could totally have re-raised you with my fives. If you did, in fact, have aces, then it probably would not have worked in that particular spot. But I could totally do that. I've done it before. Damn, GG Ray. It's always brutal to bust the strat. I feel you though. I've been doing a lot lately myself. Not my favorite thing in the world to do, I have to say. In fact, I would go so far as to say it's one of my least things in the world to do. Least favorite things in the world to do, that is. I think I missed a word in that. Definitely not the worst. Like there's tons of things that are way worse, but it's among the very bad things that can happen to me on a poker table. Well, I feel like this might be ICM suicide, but we're not even close to ICM at the moment, so can't be, right? Just basic. Just basic. Let's get ourselves out of this game. I mean, we're not in terrible shape. We weren't. I do survive at least. With not a terrible stack in the end, actually. Like considering. Thank you, Dippers. I would have clubbed both of those hands over the head. You did, in fact, have ace-ace. Right, it is break time, so I'm going to head off to that break, and I will see you guys back in just a few moments. And we're back. Stratosphere is the only one I'm left in today, but we've also got main event action on the side as well. I may not be long for this world in the Stratosphere either, with only 12 big blinds. I suspect it means that some things will transpire with a pair of 10s in the big blind that could either see my stack increase or significantly decrease, one of the two, because I think all of it will be going in the middle. Question will be whether I have any takers for that shove or not. Well, the first question is anybody going to raise into me? In fact, that does happen, so the shove is definitely forthcoming. Oh, wow, we just ran into the kings. Oh, but we just pull a 10. We just pull a 10. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Look at that. Look at that, everybody. We are running. We are running in the Stratosphere. Oh, yeah. 8 of 29. There are 9 places paid. That puts us in the moolah. 904 for the min cash. We're only in for 1 bullet, so that's almost a win for us already today, because we're willing to put in 2 usually. So yeah, we are currently on pace for 1085 for 8th, 904 for the min cash in 9th, and 8136 up top for the Stratosphere win today. So that would be a nice way to start turning my bankroll around again. I jumped in that Supermoon qualifier as well. Max late reg, pretty much. Why not? Looks like it's a good deal. Got the Rayster on our table. Happy Ray right there. Oh, just had to fill my fill my spreadsheet up with zeros, and I hate having to do that on a day. Thirteen of 26 now in the Stratosphere. 17 left. Let's head up there for a look at what's going on. I need to be shoving any ace blind unblind in that spot. I've got pretty much double their stack. I definitely don't mind seeing a flop with this hand. I mean, I'd rather see a different flop than that, but down to 21 remaining in the main event. Running it down between Kevathalum and So 7 boss. And So 7 gets there, and it is GG Kevathalum in the main event, down to 20 remaining. Big old hand going on here. Blextos blexes. That looks like a keyboard smash to me. That looks like a keyboard smash to me. I've done those before. Well, fuck. Not thrilled about this, but I think it's the right move. Wow, we just run into the kings and aces, eh? Just run into the kings and the aces. Why not? Why the heck not? I guess we still got some chips left, but once again, it's one of those spots where we're not going to be here for very long. TGLE. Yeah, I think we're suited, so I think that's a YOLO with less than a big blind. I mean, can't be picky or choosy, right? We're not even going to make our big blind, I don't think. Never mind, be able to get through it. YOLOing with the 10-3. Spades? Well, that's a big old GG to Ellie and pretty much everything today. Still playing the qualifier, but that's the final bit of poker that I am involved in today. Everything else is just a spectator sport for me now. It's just a spectator sport for me now. Good luck to everybody left alive in the games. 19 left in the main event, 21 left in the Stratosphere. 24 left in the Supermoon qualifier for the 8 tickets. Registration is closed. There's obviously only the 8 tickets. We didn't even come close to, well, I mean, it's not that far off of the guarantee, I don't think. It's like maybe 10, 15 players off the guarantee, so not that far, but yeah. Yeah, so big old cooler here in the Stratosphere. Goes to the aces over the kings. Indeed, Busto Strat seems to be going around. We are all in. In the qualifier as well, so that could also be probably a good fold there, Ray. Ace King, as you saw. Might have been racing if you raised with a pair, but if you raised with an ace, I'm probably in pretty good shape. Nope, 8-8, no good. 8-8, no fucking good. 8 good against the initial raiser, just, you know. Well, not the initial raiser, the person that shoved in front of me, but what are you going to do? Thank you, Dippers. Suited connectors, don't you know? Well, I guess suited gapper. Suited two gapper, if you want to be specific. I do not hate that flop in any way. Uh-oh, changing tables. Guess we're leaving Ray. Guess we're leaving Ray. See you, Ray. See you later, Ray. See you at the final table, Ray. be short final table. It's going to end at 8. So we get there at 9 and it'll end at 8. There's one more redraw though yet. We need to get down to two tables left in this one. So they're down to 2 tables in the Stratosphere now, 18 left. Still one away from that in the main event, 19 in the main. We got Ace King. That probably means we're going to be putting money in the middle. Yeah, that's a reshove. He says with a resigned sigh. Indeed, there are some crushers still alive in the Stratosphere, from what I've been able to see. Indeed, like I said, if you're playing a pair, it's not a terrible spot. But if you're playing another ace, you're in pretty brutal shape that spot. Although to be fair, being dominated in poker isn't nearly as bad a spot as people think it is. You're still gonna win like a third of the time. I was quite shocked when I ran the numbers. I almost missed those queens. Looking at the chat message. All right, my Stratosphere table is closed. Hey, Newt is a chip leader in the or not Stratosphere, my main event table. Newt is the chip leader in the MotherShip Poker main event. So Newt. I am 7 of 18 going into the final 2 tables of the qualifier now, by the way, just so you're up to date on my situation while we watch the main event play out. Final 2 tables still over in Stratosphere as well, 18 left there. Final two tables for me in the Supermoon qualifier, so it's just final 2 tables right now. No matter where we look, everywhere from horizon to horizon, it's final 2 tables. Or as we say here in Canada, from sea to sea to sea. We are, of course, bounded by three, count them, three oceans. Atlantic in the east, Pacific in the west, and Arctic in the north. Think we have the longest coastline in the world, with either Norway or Denmark, one of the Scandinavian countries, coming a surprising second because of all their fiddly little fjords, as Slutty Bartfast would have called them. Is that buttered chicken? Or is that the Indian dish butter chicken that you're talking about, Diptez? So I'm not sure I know what buttered chicken is, but I do know what butter chicken is, which is quite a yummy and more sweet than spicy Indian curry. Well, curry-ish. Doesn't usually have much for, now that I'm thinking about it, it's pretty much just chicken and sauce. It doesn't really have much for vegetables and stuff in it, whereas the curries are usually chock full of other stuff along with your chosen main. Hmm. 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 Got me thinking about Indian food tonight. Got me thinking about Indian food tonight all of a sudden. Might just have to get myself an order of naan and butter chicken. We'll see. We have pocket fives, 9 of 16 right now, so we are 8 away from the tickets. I have pocket fives. I think we're in the satellite, so I don't need to play those. I don't need to play anything right now, particularly. Other players are being relatively active, so I think we're reasonably okay for the time being. Shall see what happens. Meanwhile, we are still sitting at 18 left in the Strati, while the main event would appear to be down to 16. Looks like the main event is now down to 15. GG so 7. Damn, GG Quali Ray. I'm still alive and kicking. 12 of 15 now. So we're sliding. Still got just a little over 10 bigs though. So like it's not super desperate at this stage, but it's also not super hopeful either at this stage. We're kind of in a bit of a limbo zone here. Aha, the Indian thing, right? Gotcha. Yum, fucking yum. I do love me some butter chicken, I gotta say. gotta say, I do love me some butter chicken. It's not the only Indian food I, I adore. Um, in fact, Indian is one of those few cuisines that I will eat despite the fact that it hurts me physically to eat because I love it so much. Like I love the taste so much, even though the spice like physically hurts me. Um, like with an utterly normal level of spice that the average person in the world would not even react to whatsoever. They go, "Oh, that's tangy." Um, I'm gonna break out in sweats halfway through the meal at the latest. Like my head's gonna be soaked in sweat and running down the back of my neck and stuff if I'm not dabbing it with a napkin. Um, and anything spicier than that, it just gets worse and a quicker response to it. Um, but I will literally sit there and just get soaked in my own sweat to have a good. I in Africa to sit and have a good bowl of pepper soup. I would just I would just happily sit there and get soaked in my own sweat to enjoy it and just tolerate the pain. It's very rare that that's the case with foods. Like there's a lot of spicy foods that I'm just like, no, it's not worth tolerating the pain for. Um, most good Indian dishes, like I don't go super spicy with them even still, but yeah, most Indian dishes, a few Mexican dishes. Although again, I'm usually pretty on the mild end of what the average person eats, but yeah, I'm pretty wimpy when it comes to spices, like super wimpy when it comes to spices. All right, Ray, you have a good one, buddy. We will see you soon. Back on Monday, as usual, I would expect. I don't see anything upcoming. I am going to be doing that race, but that's only going to be for like, well, it's a 12-minute long race, so I'm guessing that the whole procedure for my flight is going to be like, my split is going to be like, I guess we're getting this in here. I mean, I don't need to, but I do kind of need to, so yeah. Um, the whole process is going to take less than an hour probably for me to either make a complete fool of myself or qualify for something further down the line. Um, I don't hate it. I do hate it now. We did not need to chop that shit, but I mean, I don't hate it, but I don't love it anymore. So yeah, point being, no reason that that's going to stop me from streaming on Monday. I'll just do it after the stream's over. Okay, I'm pretty sure I have all day to run one of the flights. I'm not sure if I was calling a shove off there or not. Queen high is pretty strong blind on blind, and with only 7 bigs, I do need to. I mean, I'm not that far out of a money spot, but I'm also Still a ways out of a money spot, I believe. Watch, I'm only 300 chips behind 8th place, so not that far out, frankly. Which is Lodge here, who's now all in, so it could be 9 of 11 here if we could totally be 9 of 11 here if things go our way. 6 down to 16 in the Stratosphere now. Damn, the 8s get there. Damn, did not need to see that shit. Did not need to see that shit. That was brutal. That was brutal, everybody. Holy shit. Holy shit, man. I tell you what. Wow. Like that was my shot there to ladder up a bit. Still, we're not at 12 now, so I'm okay with that. Blech. 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 I think at regular MTT I'd feel obliged to put that in, but I do not feel so obliged in a qualifier in this exact spot right now. Because it feels like there's players putting chips in when they don't necessarily have to. I could be wrong about that, but it sure feels that way. So yeah, we're down to 12 in the main event now, and 14 in the Stratosphere. So things are progressing fairly quickly in both of those games as well. I, of course, am not a part of those games, but let's go up and have a look at some of what's going on in my home games here. We got Gisahan all in for 5.4 bigs. We've still got the cat in the the cat's in the main event. I'm not looking at the Stratosphere at the moment. Let's have a look at the Stratosphere table. No cat in the strat at the moment, but we do have Gias. Oh no! My mistake. Cat in the strat. Cat in the strat. Cat in the strat alert. Cat in the strat alert. Cat in the strat alert. Yeah. So cat is 7th place in the strat. Money spot. Gisahan 9th. That's about all for regular chat members or semi-regular chat members that I can see remaining in there, unless I'm missing some usernames. Yeah, I guess that's got to go in, which you guys are not watching, so let's go down and check that out. I guess this has got to go in for me now. Oh, sure, just run into the Ace King. Find a Jilly. No Jilly on the river for Ellie. We are done. We are done. No ticky for the Ellie. No ticky for the Ellie. No ticky for the Ellie. $14 and $12 in Strat and Main, respectively. 5 paid in Main. 9 paid in the Strat. Big old race going on here. Goes to the Ace King, and the Jillies are out of there. So we're down to 13. GG Gisahan. Meanwhile, still 12 remaining over in the main event. So we've actually got Cat on the both Cat and Giasahan. No, Giasahan is out now. So both Cat is in the running for the double mother today. I'm just noticing. She's still alive in both games. Giasahan was up until a few seconds ago. It's looking like Cat's the only one in the running for a double mother today. I'm not seeing any other doubles at the moment. Still at 13 on 12 between the two games. Cat in the Strat alert, indeed. Cat in the Strat, Cat in the Strat. Thank you. It is what it is. Poker is not apparently going to be kind to me today, so we will take our poker chips and go. Well, no, we don't have any poker chips left, so we'll take our we'll take ourselves and go home. How's that? Poker took everything from us today, but you know, poker will do that to you some days. Or as Neil Farrell so delicately put it in the documentary on BBC, sometimes you're the shagger, sometimes you're the shaggy. It's good. It's a good documentary, by the way, if you guys have access to iPlayer or other means of acquiring it, which I won't go into. It's called The Four Rules of the Poker Kings, I think. Ironically, I specifically remember them mentioning the fifth rule at the end of the video. I don't remember them elucidating the other four rules, though, I have to say. So I don't know. But it's a good it's a good documentary. He's a friend of mine, so you know I'm kind of promoting a friend to a certain extent, but I also wrote an article about it, so I'm kind of promoting myself to a certain extent. But it's also a really good documentary, I thought. So it's it's worth a watch, anyways, even if you've never met the guy. I sometimes wonder if the people that you see in documentaries are acting a part or like to a certain extent being characters or caricatures of themselves, or whether they're actually um, as you see in the documentary. I wouldn't say I'm a personal friend of Neil's, but I know him reasonably well, and I would say that it captures his the actual Neil pretty well. This documentary. So wow, quads, death by quad sevens. It's always coming seven, and it's always coming a lot of fucking sevens apparently. It's always coming seven, everybody. It didn't need to come seven in that case, but Still, always coming 7. So that puts final table bubble on the main event. 10 left there and 11 left here in the Stratipoo. So that puts us 2 off the money in the Strat and 5 off the money in the main event. I can't do math apparently today. My mathing is not so good today. We have a final table in the main event, everybody. I'm just about to bring it up on the screen because the one I was watching closed, but here we are. Here we are, final table. Spectator. Cat is involved in this final table. Giasahan is involved in this final table. Ace Pilot. Newt Diptaz is involved in this final table. Ganja Feeling feels a little familiar as well, so they might be someone who's been around before too. Good luck to everybody on the final table of the main. Still 4 off the money, but getting there, getting there. Cat's still alive for the double mother today, just for the record. So we've got we not only have a cat in the strat alert, we have a cat in the main alert as well. Just cat in the main alert doesn't work quite as well as cat in the strat does. Cat on the final table of the main alert, in fact. Down to 10 in the strat now, so that one is a final table buble. Damn, Shopper. I guess they were out of sevens at that point. There was just way too many other sevens going around. Ah, good to know. Okay, fair enough. Well, then we also have Shopper on this final table. And a Shopper indeed. Shopper's right next to the cat. Well, Giason's getting their money in against 64-31. Well, let's go over and have a look. Big old confrontation. Wow. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Look at that. Look at that. The nines just get there. Holy fuck. Both other pairs hit sets, and the nine gets there with the straight. That's hilarious. Right? Crazy. Giason among the players as well as 64-31, while Ace Pilot takes the big fucking lead. Almost 3x the player below them. Yeah, I actually remember you guys talking about it, and I just totally spaced it out. Totally spaced it out when I read the name. I should have remembered. But, me spacing things out, pretty fucking daily occurrence, right? So, I tried to put my oatmeal in the freezer the other day after I started preparing it. Like the bag of oatmeal, bag of quick oats, which I mean wouldn't hurt it necessarily. It's not going to do it any good either. It's just going to fucking take up space in my freezer and mean that I'm never fucking going to find it again, right? Until I open my freezer for something else and go, fuck is that doing here? But yeah, I had the door open and I was putting it in the, and I'm like, why are you doing this? Put it back where it's supposed to be in the cupboard. Indeed, that was some extreme filth going on there for sure. Oh, I was incorrect. Cat is not the only one who's got double mother shots. Ace Pilot is in both games as well. Clearly, so there are two double mother shots today. The nines hold. Ganja feeling survives. Trades the lower two out of money positions with Nicolage. They're still on the bubble, final table bubble, by the way. and Money Bubble in the Stratosphere. Still 10 players left. So it's a bit of a battle over there. It's a bit of a battle for air supremacy over there in the Stratosphere right now. Big old race here. Looks like the 8s are going to hold, and we are down to 6 left on the stone bubble to the money in both games now. A little bit of a different situation with it just being the final table here and still final 2 over in the Stratosphere. But hey, both games on the money bubble right now. We got some potential action happening here in the Strat. Him to be thinking about it. Thinking about it, having a think, decides against it. And we play on. Bubble action continues here on the Stratosphere. The short stack survives once again, and we play on. Bubble play continues to continue in the Stratosphere, everybody. I mean, to be fair, bubble play continues to continue over here in the main event as well. So, you know, it is what it is. But Cat's still alive and kicking in both games. Short stack in this one, but doing okay. 8th position in the other one. So we're off on a break now. But the hand is done in the main event, or in the Stratosphere as well. So I'm going to hit the break screen, and I'll see you guys back in a few minutes. All right, we are back on the bubble in both games. Cat and Ace Pilot both going for the double mother at the moment. Cat needs a bit of help here in the main event to stay alive, but she's sitting pretty for a cash in the Stratosphere at least. Going for it here. Good luck, Cat. Good luck all in. Mm. Mm. Just run into it from the Penguin. Just run into it from the Penguin, eh? GG, Cat. In the money in the main event after Cat is the unfortunate bubble. Still waiting for the bubble to burst over here in the Stratosphere, though. 904 awaits. A minimum of 904 awaits all the players that survive the next elimination. 0 awaits the next player eliminated. That's how bubbles work in poker, if you were wondering. Although, to be fair, it's not always 904 awaiting the rest of the players. It's sometimes a different amount from, well, it's almost always a different amount from that. Ellie over-explains the most basic concepts in poker, everybody. That's what you come to this stream for. Still 5 in the main, and nothing's really changed since Cat's elim. Keeping my eye on that table, though. If anything, if any exciting stuff does occur, we shall head that direction. Toot sweet pronto. I'm not watched the table, but Cat must have just picked up a nice pot. She was bottom of the chips in the Stratosphere, and she's now 7th with twice as many chips as she had. So looks like she picked up a nice pot. I should probably open that table and watch it. Looks like I arrived at just the right time on this table. Bubble has burst. Kems Pezzer, the unfortunate bubble player, and we have the final table with a Cat involved in the money as the short stack. So we're actually not even the short stack. Holy shit. Holy shit. GGU in the main. Well played you in the Stratty to get in and potentially get yourself a 7th place for $13 with 2 big blinds. Indeed, you always have to call that dip test. It's never something that you can get away from. Wow, shit's going heavy here in Stratosphere land. Wow, 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 the short stacks. Paprika cheese all in. Still 5 over on the main event, if you're wondering. I mean, ostensibly they're relatively deep over there, but all the chips are in front of Ace Pilot at the moment, so nobody else really has anything to work with. But there's like 3 short stacks that are trying to outlast each other, so that's going to make it go slowly, I think. And that's it. We're down to 8. Cat's laddered at least once from her tiny stack. Should have been twice if the poker gods had any justice, but of course we know they don't. We know justice is not a thing in the poker world, so it is what it is. Everybody now guaranteed 1085 here in the Stratosphere. So yeah, just to update the situation in the main event. Nobody else has 10 big blinds, and Ace Pilot has 40, so it gives you an idea. Oh, we just got some. Wasn't a huge amount of action, but a little bit of action there. Oh, we got action down at the bottom. And Ace Pilot running away with it. Down to 4. GGL finale. 380 for 5th place. Newt dip all in for 4th place money, perhaps 633 or a double up. One of the two. I suspect Ace calls. Oh no, just a snap fold. Just a snap fold right there. Holy. GG Cat. GG Cat. $10, 1085 for 8th place though, so not terrible. You either doubled your money and a little bit more, or you got 85 cents, depending on how many bullets. Depending on whether you're one of the 5 people who rebought in this game or not. Of which I have no record, so couldn't tell you. It used to be that you could count the number of times the name appeared in the lobby, but I don't think that's the case anymore. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think so. There are certain clients where I can see that information, but there are other clients where I can't. So. Oh, what am I doing? That's not where I want to be. That's not where I want to be. That's where I wanted to be. Seven's hold, and we are down to six left on the main event with Nick 74 on the Stratosphere. Holy fuck, Ellie, get your words out and correct. Nick 74, 1356 for seventh place. 6 remain. Oh, we're down to 3. I missed a hand over on the main event. Main event is down to 3. Nikolaj 29, 633 for fourth place. And we are down to 3 remaining here. So it is getting to the end game on both tables. So I suspect we won't see another break on the stream today, but you never know. Things might slow down. It's, again, reasonably deep over on the other table, but all of the chips are in 3 of the stacks. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Down to 5 now. There's a brace that Ace Pilot won over here. So Ace Pilot's running well for the double mother today. I never 8-bet Shopper just doubled up through them, though, on the main event. So it's not all smooth sailing for the Pilot today. A little bit of turbulence. A little bit of turbulence out there. Little bits of turbulence. We can deal with it. We can survive a little bit of turbulence, maybe. See what happens. Ha! Indeed, I do. I keep missing the. I keep missing the. It's in a weird spot. In fact, I'm actually going to put it in the right spot for my screen, just so I don't keep doing that anymore. This is going to be the Stratosphere here, and this is going to be the main event here. So those are in the right places on the screen. And this is going to be the main event lobby. And this is going to be the Stratosphere lobby. Boom, there we go. There we go. Now I should be clicking the right tables at the right times for the right action, in theory. Speaking of tables for action, our penguin buddy all in and getting it through. Might not have been what he wanted, but you never know. Good spot for the King 9. Good spot for the King 9 to double up. And things are a little more even over here 3 ways now all of a sudden. Meanwhile, I missed a hand going to 4 ways. Pim de Beer grabbed some chippies here with that. And TJ EJ ... 2170 for 5th place, while Legionnaire 77, 1627 for 6th place, and we're down to 4 left here. Meanwhile, it is heads up as the fives cannot hold, and our penguin buddy is out the door. Pilot versus the shopper at the moment. Gonna focus on the heads-up battle for the time being. I'll keep my eye on the Stratosphere table, though, and move over there, assuming I can get there in time to let you know what action is happening there. Looks like the ace-king, ace-ace pilot stacking chips in both games. Down to 3 in the main now as Latvian for fun, in the strat, 29.83 for 4th place. Meanwhile, main event action heads up. Shopper getting beat up on a little bit here. Lost a few chips while Pilot has gained them, but Shopper still got a chair underneath him and chips in front of him, so don't count him out. Don't count him out. Anything can happen, heads up. Anything can happen at any point in a poker tournament, frankly, so, you know, never count yourself out, but definitely heads up. I've seen the craziest shit happen, I gotta tell you. I've seen a 500-player tournament come down to a heads-up battle where the final hand, they got all in. The hands that they got all in with are irrelevant. Counted the chip stacks down. Both players had exactly the same stack. In like 10 years of reporting, that's happened once. Still 3 left in the strat, so for the time being, I'm not too excited about heading over there. We'll keep our eyes firmly focused on the heads-up match here in the main event. I've got one eye at least focused on the Stratosphere table. Admittedly, to the potential detriment of missing what the action actually is when the final hand happens in the main event, but we'll see. We'll see. I just want to keep track of what's going on in the strat so I can move up there if we're pending upon heads up poker. $40 guaranteed for everybody remaining in the strat. We do actually have some action going on in this hand. Raising a 3-bet, but that's as far as it got. Shopper all in, gets the call from the ace high. Can he fade? Can he fade the ace? Fades the ace and doubles up to stay alive. So we play on heads up here in the main event. On we play. So Pilot still got a bit of an advantage here, but Shopper's definitely putting up a fight. Pilot's tied for the chip lead basically in the Stratosphere at the moment as well. So yeah, they've got a solid chance at being the double mother today. Got a big old race going on here. Not even a race. Oh my God, they hit the king and it is over. King 3 cracks the Jillies and Ace Pilot. American Airlines takes it down. Lands this a puppy for the win in the main event. 1835 for the win. Meanwhile, Shopper 1266 for second place. Newt, our Penguin friend, 886 for third. Nikolites 29, 633 for fourth, and EI Finet 380 for fifth place. And that is done, finito, completo for the main event today. Congratulations to everybody who got into the money. Meanwhile, Ace Pilot looking to go back to back here. Main event, Stratosphere, double mother, doing the deed, doing the business, getting her done. Can it happen? We'll see. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for more action here on MotherShip Poker, everybody. Ooster. I'm not really sure what information you're looking for from today, but today we are playing. Well, I'm not playing poker anymore. I'm watching my friends play poker in my home games until they finish. I was playing poker earlier, but I sadly lost all of my chips in all of my games, and I'm no longer playing poker. So that's the way it goes sometimes when you play poker. So again, I've had two occasions recently to reflect on the fact that even if you are the best in the world at this game, you are thrilled to be cashing 20% of the tournaments that you register in. Which, conversely means you're fucking losing 80% of them. And that's not a feeling that's easy to manage until you get kind of wrap your head around the whole long-term process of it all. I say I was been doubly reminded of that as it's a key feature of the recent article I wrote for Poker Pro about my trip to Calgary and my cash in the mini grand. But it's also a fairly key feature in the Neil Farrell documentary as well. So, is what it is. Indeed, disappointing. King 3 cracking the jillies, but that's the way it goes sometimes in poker, right? You gotta roll with the punches, and second place, not a terrible result for you, I have to say. I do have to wander over and grab some beer at some point after the stream. I finished all of my beer last night. I won't quite put it in the terms that I drank all of the beer, although technically I did drink all of the beer last night, but it was only two, so it's not really like it's not really like I went overboard. Nonetheless, I did technically drink all of the beer last night. However, when I used to say that I drank all of the beer last night, it did not mean I only had two beer. It meant I had many beers in my fridge, and I have no more beers the next morning in my fridge. Is what that usually meant. But in the quote unquote good old days. Well, and yeah, it's very. That's another thing that's interesting about the Farrell documentary. Um, there's a couple of scenes in it. One in which he's kind of despondent about going out in on the final two tables of an EPT main event for like 40 grand and a decent profit on a good profit on the trip, not just a decent profit on the trip, good profit on the trip from what they were reporting. Fast forward a few minutes later in the documentary, and he's in Dublin winning a UK IPT main for 60K, which is more than 40K, no question, but not a significant amount more than 40K. The EPT Prague one, it was like 300 or 400 up top that he could have won. So he wins the tournament for 60K in Dublin, and he's fucking over the moon about the win. And it's a nice reminder that it's not necessarily about the raw dollars in play so much. I mean, like I say, and especially for somebody at Neil's level, 60K, 40K, pretty much the same. Like it's pretty much it's just it's just another day at the office kind of deal. But the fact that one's a win and one was getting getting cooler than bad beat out of out of a chance at 5 times as much or 6 times as much as what he won. That's a different. That's a totally different dynamic form going on. So I did think that was an interesting mindset for sure. So we've got a sit out here in the Stratosphere, which is unusual for the end game. But it does mean that we're probably going to end up heads up here at some point, although that's kind of a risky thing to do. Although I guess the shove is less risky than the call off, but still. But yeah, so it's crucially, it's not really about necessarily the actual number of dollars that you win. It's about getting the win. And conversely, the reason getting the win, I guess, is so important is because of what it feels like he left on the table in Prague for the EPT. So, I mean, I sort of get where they're coming from, but I'm still going to be the kind of player that's relatively happy with my day when I get up from the table with more money than I sat down with. And I honestly still think that's the healthiest way to play the game. I think hyper focusing on the wins is potentially going to make you more money in the long run. But I think it's also going to be a lot more difficult to manage your mental health with that going on. I think. I don't know. I could be wrong about that, but it seems to me it's a more difficult path to walk in tournament poker when you're truly invested in winning every tournament. It's because that's just never going to be feasible, right? You're going to be disappointed so often that it's really hard to. I think it's much harder to manage that emotional variance than it is the emotional variance of I'm just going to lose 85% of the times I register. Crazy! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, Ace Pilot gets it in with aces. Pim DeBeer just fucking big blind specials it with deuce 5, and it is heads up. And we have the we have the fucking sitter gonna end up getting second place for this. The sleeper. Holy shit! Wow, that was an end. That was an end to a poker tournament, everybody. Holy shit. I don't know whether to call that ICM suicide or not by Ace Pilot, but it does mean we don't have a double mother going on today. But I'm just still kind of reeling. From that. Wow. That was a crazy end to that game. Crazy shit going on here in Stratosphere land. Anyways, congratulations, Pim DeBeer, 81-36 after big blind special just crushes it there at the end. So 7 boss, 7 lay, 56-96 for second after sleeping their way. Is that Ant-Man? I have to check and see if that's Ant-Man. That could be Ant-Man. Because they did seem to sleep their way to some pretty big prize money there. Ace Pilot in third place for 40-68. Latvia for fun, 29.83 for fourth. Tejej, 21.70 for fifth. Legionnaire 77, 16.27 for sixth. In seventh place, we have Nick 74 for 13.65. Our good friend and first officer Cat in eighth place for 10.85, and Paprichkachi 9.04 for ninth place today as our caching players in the Stratosphere. And wow again for that final hand. What a final couple of hands there in the Stratosphere. That was crazy. That was crazy as a fuck, I tell ya. Anyways, thank y'all for coming and hanging out with me here on the Mothership today. As I said, I can't foresee any turbulence that will keep me from taking to the skies on Monday. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys there at 11 a.m. Mountain Time Monday as well. And yeah, until then, this is your Captain Elron out. Ooh, carrot and parsnip stir fry. For more vintage poker content from MotherShip Poker, click the subscribe button and check out the playlists for all of our old archived content, as well as the ads only cut from some of the early streams.